Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We are going to be looking at an absolute masterclass in ambition, grit, and integrity. We're following the story of Ryan. At 20 years old, he had completely empty pockets, grease on his hands, but a massive, massive vision. Today, we're unpacking the exact blueprints he used to totally transform his life, and honestly, it really proves that no matter where you start, your final destination is entirely up to you. So, picture the sheer contrast here for a second. It's early morning, and Ryan is covered in grime, fixing squeaky bicycle chains at his Uncle Peter's tiny repair shop. And all the while, he's just watching these sleek, incredibly expensive cars rolling by on the street outside. He looks at them and quietly promises himself that one day he's going to build cars that ordinary, everyday families can actually afford. And, well, you can probably guess what happens next. The customers in the shop, they just laugh at him. I mean, they look at his current reality, he's literally a bicycle mechanic, and they totally mock his ambition. They just cannot fathom how he could possibly make a leap like that. But, the narrator in our source material perfectly puts it like this. Great dreams often sound impossible at first. And really, that's the core premise we're breaking down today. We so often look at the finished, polished product of success, and we completely forget the ridiculous, unbelievable, and frankly, heavily mocked beginnings of that exact same journey. Great things almost always start small. And more often than not, they start with a roomful of people telling you it simply cannot be done. All right, Section 1. Big dreams, small beginnings. So what did his actual day-to-day look like? Here is the reality of Ryan's relentless daily grind to bridge the gap between where he was and where he desperately wanted to be. There's no magic wand here. Step 1, he repairs bicycles all day just to pay the bills. Step 2, at night, instead of relaxing or watching TV, he is buried in engineering books from the local library. Step 3, he's taking literally every free online lesson he can get his hands on. His best friend Leo would see these giant piles of books and joke with him, asking Ryan if he was fixing bicycles or studying to build rockets. Ryan would just laugh and say, maybe cars first. So ask yourself, what are you studying after your own day job is done? Because that after-hours work, that is exactly where the magic happens. Moving on to Section 2, the value of honesty. This is a crucial turning point. Okay. Imagine this scenario. A customer leaves a bag behind at the bicycle shop, and it is absolutely filled with money. For a broke 20-year-old, keeping that bag is the ultimate temptation, right? It looks like a massive, life-changing shortcut. But Ryan, he doesn't even hesitate. He immediately returns the bag to its rightful owner. And in doing so, he unlocks the single most important door of his life. That customer wasn't just anybody. She turned out to be engineer Sophia, a truly brilliant automotive engineer. And this brilliantly illustrates a fundamental truth about success. Sophia looks at Ryan and tells him, skill can be taught, character cannot. Because of that single, completely honest act, she offers Ryan an internship. And that quickly evolves into a profound mentorship. Under Sophia's guidance, Ryan goes from just reading library books to actively learning engine design, testing real ideas, and physically building prototypes. Sophia teaches him that every great invention, no matter how complex it gets, always begins as a rough sketch. His character is what earned him the right to learn those skills in the first place. All right, Section 3, rejecting the shortcut. Time for the ethics test. So Ryan levels up, but then he faces a trap that honestly catches a lot of aspiring builders. Here is where the visions really clash. You have Mr. Black offering a highly lucrative but super greedy deal. His pitch is basically use low-quality parts, cut a bunch of corners, and we can earn millions fast. Ryan flat out refuses. Why? Because his vision demands trust, not shortcuts. He insists that families must trust his cars, not fear them. He actively chooses long-term purpose and safety over a short-term payout. And yeah, that sends an angry Mr. Black walking right out the door. Which brings us to Section 4, the execution. Actually building the dream. It's one thing to have this high-minded, noble philosophy, but it is another thing entirely to build a working car in a tiny, messy garage. Ryan and his buddy Leo finally assembled their first affordable model, and, spoiler alert, It doesn't go perfectly on the first try. In this amazing moment of levity, Leo actually forgets to tighten one of the wheels. They step back to admire their work, and the wheel just completely detaches and rolls away by itself. Can you imagine? It's a hilarious reality check, and everyone just bursts out laughing. But the key here is they didn't quit. They fixed the wheel, and when they finally started the engine, the car worked perfectly. That rough sketch had finally become a functioning machine. Section 5. Overcoming the Giants. Welcome to the corporate battle. Now, what's really interesting here is how this competitive advantage breaks down when Ryan's tiny operation catches the eye of the wider industry. A giant, massive car company swoops in and entirely steals his design. His employees are completely panicking, but Ryan, he just looks at what they copied, the physical design, the mechanics, and he realizes what they simply couldn't copy. They couldn't steal the purpose, the rigorous safety standards, or the genuine customer service. So instead of panicking, he just puts his head down and pushes his own quality even further. Ryan actually tells his terrified team, they copied our design, but they can't copy our purpose. Reverse engineering a physical product? That is super easy for a massive corporation. But copying the authentic soul and the integrity of a mission, that is literally impossible. Because Ryan stayed absolutely true to his core mission of serving families safely, the customers totally saw the difference and they chose his company anyway. All right, final chapter, Section 6, A Lasting Legacy. Let's fast forward a few years. Ryan is now the founder of one of the world's fastest growing global car brands. There's this massive magazine headline that reads, "Former bicycle mechanic builds global car brand." A reporter asks him the golden question, what made the difference? And Ryan's response reframes his entire past struggle. He smiles and says, I never repaired bicycles. I repaired my future one day at a time. Isn't that incredible? He didn't see himself as being stuck in a bike shop. He saw every single turned wrench as a down payment on his ultimate dream. And the story doesn't end with him just getting wealthy, because true success is ultimately measured by the doors you open for others. Ryan takes his resources and opens engineering schools for poor students. He's giving kids who are just like he was a real, tangible chance to learn. His uncle Peter actually watches this all happen and realizes the profound scope of Ryan's journey. He tells him proudly, you fixed bicycles. Now you're helping fix lives. Let's just look at how this builds up over time. From a humble mechanic in Phase 1 to earning that crucial mentorship in Phase 2, then grinding away in a tiny garage, to finally founding a global brand. When you see his timeline rapid-fired like this, it is undeniable proof. Your starting point never, ever has to limit your destination. And there's this deeply poignant moment where Ryan returns to his roots. He walks right back into that old bicycle repair shop, and he spots a young, doubtful mechanic standing there. The kid looks at Ryan and asks, can someone like me really build cars? Ryan simply hands the kid a wrench and says, every great machine begins with one small tool and one big dream. It's just this beautiful full circle moment of passing the torch and inspiring the very next generation. So let's distill all of this down into some core actionable takeaways. Number 1, honesty and hard work are literally the only ways to build lasting success. Number 2, great things always start small. You can't let mocking laughter deter you. Number 3, dream big, build bigger, and seriously, never give up. And finally, a dream only becomes reality when intense hard work meets unwavering determination. To wrap things up, I want to leave you with a single, pretty provocative question. Think about Ryan in that dusty bike shop, choosing to study instead of sleep. Every action you take right now is a wrench turning on the engine of your own life. Look at your current habits and ask yourself honestly, what future are you repairing today? Keep learning, keep building, and thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.